Good morning and a very warm welcome to the 202nd Sovereigns Parade here at the Royal Military Academy Sandhurst. My name is Major Kirsty D. Kemain and I'm joined here today by Major Carl Taylor. Morning, Carl.
Good morning, Kirsty, and a tremendous privilege to be here again on this special occasion. And also good morning to our viewers that are listening across the country. You're about to witness the new future leaders about to commission here at Sandhurst. And there you can have on the screen there is, as you can see, the parade has already started and it's making its way from what is New College now onto Old College Parade Ground. In the front there is the Academy Adjutant, Major Andrew Dunlop from the Welsh Guards. He's on his charger today, who is called Percy. More about that later on. To the right-hand side, he is flanked by the Academy Sergeant Major, which is W01 Daniel Cope from the Welsh Guards. You could just see him coming into shot now behind the stick orderlies. They're also flanked by 4 stick orderlies, 2 at the front and 2 at the rear. Again, we'll hear more about them later on. And also the Commandant's Piper, who is Officer Cadet Daniel Light of Imaging Company. And at the end of the parade, he will guide the Sovereign's representative off the parade, playing his pipes.
So we're here today to recognise the great achievements of Commissioning Course 231. This is a hugely momentous day for not just the officer cadets of Commissioning Course 231, but all of their parents and guests who will be looking on proudly today. Commissioning today are 131 British officer cadets and 25 international cadets from 19 nations. At Sandhurst, there are currently a total of 122 international officer cadets. Since 1947, over 5,500 international officer cadets from 132 different countries have trained alongside the British officer cadets, reinforcing the ties between the British Army and the armies of our friends and allies.
The band here today are represented by the British Army Band of Tidworth, led by Director of Music Captain Andrew Porter, who enlisted into Camas in 2003. He received also the Arkham Senior Soldier of the Year Award and was commissioned into this role in 2021. You'll hear throughout the parade festive musical display marking the Sovereign's Parade that we have here today.
And we're delighted to have all 3 intakes on parade today: Commissioning Course 233, the Junior Division, and Commissioning Course 233, Intermediate Division, and of course Commissioning Course 231, the Senior Division, who will be commissioning today. The nerves will be calming now as they come onto Old College Square and settle into their stride. And just coming into shot now is the new college adjutant, Captain Ed Harmer of the Grenadier Guards, and he rides the beautiful Sovereign Shadow. This is Captain Ed Harmer's first Sovereign's Parade here at Sandhurst, having assumed the role of new college adjutant this term.
As you can see now, the officer cadets are taking shape on the parade ground. The band is on the grand entrance, and just playing the last few officer cadets in, you will hear the Academy Adjutant giving the first words of command. Clear words of command from the Academy Adjutant, getting the parade into what is called open order. So this is 2 ranks in the front, the senior term, intermediate and the junior division. And this is in preparation for the Sovereign's banner and the colours to be marched out very shortly. At this point you'll see a number of individuals, this one being New College Regimental Sergeant Major W1 Steve Walker of the Coldstream Guards, and he's dressing the frontage of the senior term. Quite an important part of the parade is to make sure that everyone is absolutely in position, ready for the Sovereign's representative and indeed for the colours to come on parade. W1 Steve Walker is the 2nd generation of Coldstream Guard. He served alongside his 2 older brothers, and their father also served with the Coldstream Guards. This is his 4th Sovereign's Parade and have been in the post since November 22. He has previously served as a colour sergeant instructor here in the Academy back in 2014. Just in shot there, the Academy Sergeant Major looking onto the dressing before giving the eyes front to the entire parade. Academy Sergeant Major will step off and join behind the senior term, ready to receive the Sovereign's banner and the colours that are about to march on parade now. Piece of music at the point of war is played as the escort brings the banner onto parade. It's carried by W2 Paul Johnson, Company Sergeant Major from the Duke of Lancs Regiment, and escorted by Colour Sergeants Warburton and Kimpton, also from the Royal Anglian Regiment.
Escort to the Sovereign's banner! Halt! Escort to the Sovereign's banner! Arm out! Turn! Escort to the banner and colour party! Present! Arm!
That is now the banner and the colour party on parade. On the left-hand side, you can see then the King's colour. The King's colour is presented by His Majesty King Charles III in April this year, and carried today by Officer Cadet Jack Hendy of Gaza Company, who is joining the Grenadier Guards.
And as we wait for the Sovereign's rep to arrive, we will cut to a short clip and meet some of the senior division officer cadets who have shared their thoughts and experiences about their training.
It started last night and it's the final attack of our final exercise, Dynamic Victory. Both companies at the intake go out, do their own different attacks going throughout the night, which was very wet, very muddy, very windy, until this morning, HR at 0400 attacking onto the village.
Glorious day today because we finished exercise Dynamic Victory. This today is the crown of all of that effort that we had put in the past 12 months.
So the intake in a few short weeks will be stepping off onto the parade square ready for their Sovereign's Parade, the day that they officially commission and become officers in the British Army, marching up the steps of Old College and moving off into their life as commissioned officers.
The end of my career here at Sandhurst, the beginning of my career as a British Army officer. I think I'll have mixed emotions on the day, nostalgia for that whole year gone, but yeah, just that anticipation and excitement for the future.
I just want you all to pause and look around each other at the berets that represent the tribes of our army, but more importantly to look at the friends that probably got you through this year. So just take a moment to recognise each other and what you've done for each other to become officers in the British Army.
And now you can see the Sovereign's representative, General Sir Tim Radford, KCB DSO OBE. This is the first time that he has been the Sovereign's representative, and this is his final official act in the Army, marking the end of an illustrious 38-year career. We wish him all the best for the future. To the right of him is the Commandant General Zach Stenning, and just behind him is his MA Major Andrew Campbell of the Scots Guards.
As the delegation make their way up along what's called King's Walk, so this is from Queen Victoria's statue up to the parade ground. They are always flanked by a member of Gurkha Company Satang who provide ceremonial street lining and in this case the Guard of Honour. They also provide training for the officer cadets on exercise, so they play as enemy forces to create as realistic training as possible. And now back on the parade ground, you can see the Academy Adjutant on Percy, ready to present the parade to the Sovereign's representative.
Sandhurst, General Salute, present, on. Sandhurst, slow,
Academy Adjutant has now stated the parade to the Sovereign's representative, and he'll get the parade ready for the inspection phase.
Third Junior Division. Shoulder on. Third Junior Division. Chain on. The Intermediate and Junior Division. Standard in.
You could just make out the movement on the parade there. That's the Academy Sergeant Major making his way to the far left-hand side of the parade, where he is also joined with the senior under-officer. These two will then state, as you can see, she's just in shot there, marching to the left-hand side to meet the inspection party. As soon as they have met, then they will guide the Sovereign's representative and the delegation throughout the inspection phase.
So the Sovereign's representative are now inspecting the parade. Sir Tim Radford commissioned into the Light Infantry in 1985, and he has commanded extensively on operations in Northern Ireland, Sierra Leone, Iraq and Afghanistan. Accompanying him is Major General Zach Stenning, the Commandant of the Royal Military Academy Sandhurst. He's the 31st Commandant of the Academy and the Director of Leadership British Army. He commissioned from Sandhurst in 1995 as the Sword of Honour winner. He has led soldiers and officers from platoon to brigade on deployments in Northern Ireland, Bosnia, the Congo, Iraq, Afghanistan and Oman. He commanded 3rd Battalion, the Yorkshire Regiment, now the Royal Yorkshire Regiment, and 1st Armoured Infantry Brigade. And just at the back of the screen there, you can see Major Andrew Campbell of the Scots and the AMA to CGS Captain Harriet Arkwright.
Kirsty, this is a great opportunity for the Sovereign's rep to actually have a quick chat with individuals during inspection. You can see they're moving past now, and they'll give the respect to the colours as they move past by signifying a salute to the right and then continue the inspection. You'll also notice that those with the BDI can see a number of medals on officer cadets, okay, and they're for all different reasons. Clearly some of them may be from the ranks from before and have earned operational medals that have now decided to become an officer here at the Academy. You've also got Jubilee medals, which have been worn if they have served over 5 years prior to the 8th of February last year. And indeed, you've got international officer cadets that will receive the Sandhurst Trust Medal in week 14, which is earlier this week, by the Commandant and the Sandhurst Trust. Other accoutrements on the uniform, you can see in shot there, you can see on the sleeve of the junior under officer, just proud of the parade, is the marksman's badge, and this is worn on the lower left arm in number 1 dress if they achieve a score of a marksman whilst live firing during exercises here at the Academy. And as the inspection party continues, we will just sit back and listen to the festive programme of music that the band of Tidworth, the British Army Band of Tidworth, is conducting throughout this parade.
So today, as I've already said, we have commissioning course 231, who will be commissioning today. This consists of a Gaza company commanded by Major Gilly Tovey of the Royal Electrical and Mechanical Engineers, and the Somme company commanded by Major Ian Rutherford of the Royal Artillery. The company commanders will be in the stands watching with pride, and you will see, of course, the company sergeant majors on parade with the officer cadets, along with the platoon senior non-commissioned officer instructors.
And again, the delegation pay the respects to the colours as they pass through to the left-hand side of the parade. We spoke briefly about the colour on the left-hand side, which is the King's colour, that was carried by Officer Cadet Hendy. On the right-hand side is the Sandhurst, the regimental colour, and this is carried by Officer Cadet Milo Alsop of Gaza Company, who is joining the Grenadier Guards. I mentioned the order of dress earlier on with the medals. The officer cadet in the front there is showing off the Jubilee medal. And you've also noticed he's got gold epaulets as well, as compared to the other officer cadets who are just wearing plain epaulets, and this is to signify him as the junior under officer. The medal in the centre, that is slightly different colour, that is the Sandhurst Trust medal. So you've got the 2 Jubilee medals flanked by the Sandhurst Trust medal in the centre. I briefly mentioned the Sandhurst Trust medal just then, and actually the trust was originally set up in 2003 to promote leadership at the Royal Military Academy, and subsequently expanded its reach in 2014 to satisfy the need to support officer cadets both serving and retired throughout the international stage. They've also helped to support international cadets in getting home for compassionate reasons, looking after those that are unable to get home during recess, and a flurry of other incentives in order to provide the support for the officer cadets while they're here and when they've also commissioned and even retired from the British Army. You can see the Academy Sergeant Major right at the end on the left-hand side of the screen, and this signifies pretty much the end of the inspection phase, where the Sovereign's platoon, which you are now in shot, will come forward and collect the colours shortly. So that is the inspection phase finish. You'll see the dignitaries making their way back to the dais, ready for the next part of the parade. Those in the audience will recognise the musical piece Let It Go by Lopez. The senior under officer will make her way back to the centre and back to original position. She's just given the whole parade standard ease. Right at the rear, you would have been slightly out of sight, but the Academy Sergeant Major would have had his pay stick collected, and he will draw his sword ready for the next part of the parade. And he stood just behind the Sovereign's platoon that is at the far left-hand side of your picture now. You will see the Sovereign's platoon into close order, ready to march off and then do a left form and march towards the Sovereign's banner. Academy Sergeant Major at the rear guiding the platoon with the platoon colour sergeant. We'll mention him when he does his dressing shortly. But they're coming forward now, as you can see, like I said, that left turn, so they're forming up. They'll mark time for a few paces and then move forward together as the Sovereign's banner will join up to meet them in the centre of the parade. The ensign today, you can see in the centre carrying the white colour belt, is Officer Cadet Lauren O'Toole, who will be commissioning to AGC ETS. She's from Dorset and was educated at Lancaster University. Colour Sergeant Brown, the Sovereign's platoon colour sergeant, has just got them into open order right dress, ready to receive the Sovereign's banner. And very shortly you'll see the Academy Sergeant Major from the rear of the Sovereign's platoon march around and up towards to take over the Sovereign's banner. The ensign salutes the banner, places her sword back in the scabbard and ready to receive the colours from the Academy Sergeant Major.
The Sovereign's platoon, present, arms.
The honour of the troop in the colour falls to the Sovereign's platoon, and this is considered as the best platoon of the intake. You'll notice they're wearing multicoloured lanyards and using the colours of all the 3 divisions across the intake. They were scored from and judged from a wide range of competitive events such as a competition in drill, orienteering, shooting, cross-country, to ensure they are the best and endurance team throughout the academy.
The Sovereign's platoon is commanded by Captain Matt Edwards of the Royal Electrical and Mechanical Engineers. He is in the stands watching with his girlfriend, Sophie. It'll be an immensely proud moment for this platoon commander.
And of course he's joined with the Colour Sergeant. So we mentioned Colour Sergeant Brown when he done his dressing earlier on. He's from the 2nd Battalion of the Royal Regiment of Scotland, the Royal Highland Fusiliers. He joined the Academy in August last year, and he too is immensely proud of 13 platoon's achievements and honoured to be the Sovereign's Platoon Colour Sergeant. In the stands today, he is joined by his wife Laura and his parents Craig and Deborah. So the Sovereign's platoon have taken over the colour, they've advanced in slow time, and they've done a ceremonial right and then left turn. They are now left wheeling onto the inspection line, and this is where they troop that banner through the remainder of the officer cadets. The band is cut out in order for them to give a present arms, and you'll hear the band kick back in again as they troop the banner. You would have seen a very similar parade in London, those of you who have watched the Troop in the Colour, where the colour is trooped in front of the soldiers and the officer cadets at this stage, so that they can identify the colour. It was used as a rallying point during war, so in the chaos of battle and at the end of the battle they could rally towards their colour to then identify their unit and take account of both the casualties of war.
And it's probably worth mentioning that the Sovereign's platoon is a 13 platoon of the Somme Company.
That's the Sovereign's platoon back into their original position, but this time with the Sovereign's banner. The entire parade, led by the Sovereign's platoon, now steps off. The first time that the remainder of the parade have moved, so a bit of relief now as they step out in slow time. They will march past the dais and salute. Once they finish that in slow time, you'll see them break into quick time, and I'll give you more information as we approach that. But let's listen to a bit of the music from the band now as everyone steps off and marches around in slow time.
And at the rear, you can see Captain Ed Harmer, the New College Academy Adjutant, riding Sovereign Shadow. Sovereign Shadow's name was Lord Lonergan before being named by the King's Troop. He is a gelding 17-3 Irish sports horse, and he's 16 years old. He was originally purchased by the King's Troop Royal Horse Artillery as an officer's charger. He moved to the Household Division in Hyde Park Barracks, where he has been used by the Guards officers for state ceremonial parades. You would have seen Shadow leading the procession for Trooping the Colour this year under the guidance of the Brigade Major, London District. Shadow is now a permanent fixture with us at Sandhurst, and he is used as the lead horse for all reserve commissioning parades. And here you can see the Academy Adjutant riding Percy. Percy is a 15-year-old 17-1 Irish sports horse. He's a military working horse from the Lifeguard Squadron, the Household Cavalry Mounted Regiment. His lead position on the Sovereign's Parade under the guidance of Academy Adjutant Major Andrew Dunlop is one that requires relaxation, a calm manner and a strong mental resilience to accept the very busy parade that moves around him. Only a select few from the military would be able to fulfil this role as confidently as he does. He is a regular face amongst the streetliners from the Household Division, being ridden by the Guards regimental officers, and he was on the Queen's funeral in September 22, followed by the King's coronation this year.
I think it's worth mentioning that they're also looked after not just by the adjutants who take them for rides during parades, but there's three key members of the stables called the Brunei stables here. Couple horse Daniel Martin, who's the stables manager from the Household Cavalry Mounted Regiment. Lance Couple horse Todd, who's the stables 2IC, also from the Household Cavalry Mounted Regiment, and Guardsman Sharkey from the Scots Guards, all assist with the upkeep and the training of the chargers in Sandhurst and on parade. Approaching the dais now, the Sovereign's platoon have already given the eyes right, so that's the compliments that they pay to the Sovereign's representative, and you'll see as each of the officer cadets pass a certain marker, they will give that word of command as they pass the dais.
No doubt this will be an extremely proud moment for all the officer cadets and their families and friends watching the parade today. This parade marks the culmination of 44 weeks training on the commissioning course, which must be passed by all direct entry officers commissioning to the regular army. The course is split into 3 terms of 14 weeks, with a further 2 weeks of adventurous training. The course covers activities such as military theory, academic study, behavioural sciences, physical training and field exercises, where military skills and leadership are developed and tested under arduous conditions over multi-day periods on defence training areas across England, Wales and with partnering American forces in Germany. The officer cadets commissioning today are able to lead and manage a platoon of approximately 30 soldiers in barracks and on operations. Before the newly commissioned officers begin their first role in the field army, they will complete their specialist training based on which regiment they have been selected for during the commissioning course.
You'll notice as each of the officer cadets have gone past that the senior term are guided by officer cadets, so they're the ones that give the words of commands and they're the one that is in front of each of their divisions. However, with the intermediate and the junior term, you can see the colour sergeants at the rear and they're just guiding the officer cadets. They're not just quite there, but on senior term, that is the transitional stage to hand over all the words of commands from the staff to the officer cadets. You'll see the Academy Adjutant in the centre of the parade. He's not lost, he's just repositioned himself so he could see the entirety. So unfortunately he's not leading at this stage, but what he's looking for is everyone to pass what's called Chaos Corner. And this is a bit of a manoeuvre that you'll also see on Troop in the Colour, where the divisions will move from column, from line into column. Once they've done that, they will change arms. So there's a lot of moving parts at the same time. Once he sights that and the change of arms has been done, he will give the word of command, the band will cut out, and then the word of command will be given to move into quick time. And you'll see the whole parade moving and changing from slow time into quick march. And that's now the parade broken from slow march into quick march.
We are also joined today by General von Pissen, or the Commander-in-Chief of the Cambodian Armed Forces, who's watching the first Cambodian officer cadet to commission. This represents a strengthening of our nation ties in the Indo-Pacific region.
As the divisions now approach the dais in quick time, so actually moving their hands now, which is a nice bit of ease into the march and enjoying the music whilst they're marching as well. Remember, in slow time they would have kept their hands pinned to the side of their body, but this time they're allowed to swing them out. And you'll notice that a flourish won't get done with the swords, which is normally the respect paid in slow time, but the swords will stay in the carry whilst passing the dais.
The original Royal Military Academy was established in Woolwich in 1741 to train officers for the artillery and engineers. A similar institution was founded for training cavalry and infantry officers in 1802 at High Wycombe. The first commissioning parade of the new Royal Military Academy Sandhurst was held on the 14th of July 1948 in the presence of His Majesty King George VI, who decreed henceforth that the parade was to be known as the Sovereign's Parade. And once again, coming into shot is the new college adjutant. The new college commander, Lieutenant Colonel Jim Green, will be sat in the stands. This will be his last parade as new college commander, and we wish him all the best as he moves to Academy headquarters.
And also his last parade, as you can see in the centre of the screen, is the Old College Regimental Sergeant Major. W1 James Timperley from the Mercian Regiment. He joined in January 2000 from the Army Foundation College Harrogate and deployed in operations all over the world: Balkans, Iraq, Afghanistan, Falklands, Ukraine, Estonia. He was awarded 2 Joint Commanders Commendations, a Commander Field Army Commendation, and more recently awarded the Meritorial Service Medal on the King's Birthday Honours List. Graduated with first-class honours degree in Chartered Management in Portsmouth University. He's held the position since November 21, so a prestigious occasion here. Previously a Colour Sergeant and a Company Major at the Academy. He now moves on as a late entry commissioned officer and supported today by his wife Claire, his sons Brodie and Chase that are watching with pride in the stands. Okay, this is the moment where now all the officer cadets are going to do a left form at the halt, and this will bring them back to their original positions. You can see the Academy Sergeant Major flanked by the 2 Regimental Sergeant Majors that will break off now to guide the rest of the officer cadets forward as they move to the next part of the parade.
On Wednesday, the cadets did a full run-through for the Commandant's Parade. In General Stenning's speech, he recognised that those joining the British Army today are joining a fast, modernising army in both approach and equipment. The Chief of the General Staff direction to meet the challenges of our adversaries, encompassing the modernisation of future soldier, enhancing and improving cultures to drive teamwork that will be led by all those commissioning today.
Academy Adjutant gives a word of command for in open order, inwards dress. So this then will signify that the senior term are about to advance with the rest of the intakes forward in review order. So all the staff will move now away, so all that you'll see in front is the senior term, those that are going to be commissioned today. They'll all come forward together, and they're just now waiting for the Academy Sergeant Major to give the eyes front from the rear. You'll now hear the speech from the Sovereign's representative as he addresses those on parade today.
Directors and staff, officer cadets, Chief of the General Staff, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for inviting me back here today. It's a great honour to be at the Royal Military Academy and to be representing His Majesty the King on this, the 202nd Sovereign's Parade. I remember very clearly 39 years ago, standing as you are now, filled with a sense of relief that I'd made it through, excitement that we were all about to finally commission, and candidly some apprehension about what lay ahead. It was a happy and a proud day, but sadly not one that was captured fully, as no doubt your family and friends will today. I recall that my parents had travelled in great haste from Ireland that morning, and whilst my dear mother had by all accounts taken 36 excellent photographs in a pre-digital age, and with a slight oversight, she had forgotten to put a film into the camera. But your memories of today, alongside those already recorded over the past 44 weeks, will serve as a precious reminder of how you changed, as well as some of the immense challenges that you've faced and overcome together. You'll no doubt reflect on the directors and staff, both military and academic, who trained you and whose gentle encouragement has guided you to this point. To all of them, I pass on our sincere thanks. For those of you taking command of British soldiers, you join an army in transition, an army that's adapting to new threats and opportunities, as well as an army that will once again play a leading role in NATO's collective defence of the Euro-Atlantic area. And to the 25 international officer cadets, it is no accident that you are here. You were selected because your nation believes that you have great leadership potential. We're proud that you now return home with a much better understanding of how we can all work more closely together in a turbulent and uncertain world. I can only imagine, no matter your previous experience, assuming command may appear somewhat daunting at this stage. It will be an unforgettable moment when you stand in front of your soldiers for the first time, as a newly commissioned officer, as their leader, charged with caring for them and their families and potentially leading them on operations and potentially into combat. And I suggest that engagement will take some thought and preparation. Today, I simply offer three things to consider, which I believe are essential in all leaders, but particularly for those of us serving in the army. The first is the importance of good judgment. Very soon, you'll have some difficult choices to make and some equally difficult decisions. Your intellect, your training, your instinct, and your own moral compass will give you and guide you to make those judgments. Judgments that will be even more effective if they're combined with a willingness to own problems and take on responsibility. A combination of those two will set you apart. Sound judgment, underpinned by strong values and standards of behaviour, will inspire your soldiers and your fellow officers, and also serve as an accelerant to your growth as a leader. The second is balance. Your time here at Sandhurst has been intense, more intense, you'll be pleased to know, than routine military life. During the Second World War, one of the principal architects of the Special Operations Executive was General Gubbins, responsible for sending Allied agents deep into enemy-held territory. His mantra on leadership, which I've always rather liked, is that you should know something about everything, know everything about something, and play a musical instrument. And perhaps one interpretation of that as you embark on your first command might be that first, you should be prepared to talk with your soldiers about anything, because that is how you'll get to know them properly and truly understand them. Second, as a junior officer, you should try and become an expert in a particular field and be recognised as such. And third, importantly, try to find something outside the army, a hobby, an interest, a walking stick, if you like, that you can lean on from time to time. Having breadth outside the army will make you a much better officer and a far more interesting and fulfilled human being. And the final trait I'd offer is humility. As a central pillar of army leadership, it's having the ability to listen to and to learn from others, no matter their rank. To be able to admit when you're wrong, or when you don't know the answer. To unlock the genius in others, and importantly, to give them credit for it. You leave here with a superb foundation and justifiable confidence to lead soldiers. Believe me, they will follow you with even greater willingness if they recognise you as a young officer of genuine humility. So as you march up the steps of Old College shortly, try to savour the moment and perhaps reflect on those who've gone before. Leaders who since 1801 have served this and other nations with great courage and distinction. And to those of you on parade from the intermediate and junior terms, well done, hang in there, your time will come. So in closing, and to all of you commissioning today, I thank you for your commitment, your determination, and your courage. This is a very special day, and you deserve it. Be kind to your soldiers, be kind to your families, and be kind to yourselves. May your God bless you and keep you safe.
The next part of the parade you'll see now will be the prize winners as they come forward to collect their awards that they've achieved over the whole year of their training whilst here at the Academy.
The International Award, presented by the State of Qatar. The International Award is awarded to the international cadet who has achieved the best overall results in military, academic and practical studies. Today it is awarded to Officer Cadet Paris from the United States of America.
During his time at Sandhurst, Officer Cadet Christian Paris was continually humbled by the depth and calibre of his host nation's cadets. He was equally baffled by the courage, skill and humility displayed by his fellow international cadets, who learned and led in not just one, but two or more languages throughout the rigorous course.
The Queen's Medal. The Queen's Medal is awarded to the officer cadet who has achieved the best overall results in military, academic and practical studies. Today it is awarded to Junior Under Officer B. Jarvis, who is to be commissioned into the Intelligence Corps.
Officer Cadet James B. Jarvis is delighted to be commissioning into the British Army and the Intelligence Corps. He remains incredibly grateful for the support and advice that he has received from the permanent staff and fellow officer cadets.
The International Sword, presented by the State of Kuwait. The International Sword is awarded to the International Cadet, considered by the Commandant to be the best of the intake. Today it is awarded to Officer Cadet Paris from the United States of America.
Officer Cadet Christian Paris aims to apply the immense number of lessons learned here at Sandhurst during his own training pipeline, which will allow him to excel in the US Army Ranger, Air Assault and Airborne courses. He hopes to join the Special Operations community with the goal of serving on a US Army Civil Affairs team.
The Sword of Honour. The Sword of Honour is awarded to the officer cadet considered by the Commandant to be the best of the intake. Today it is awarded to Senior Under Officer Petch, who is to be commissioned into the Army Air Corps.
SUO Lucy Petch is proud to be commissioning into the Army Air Corps. Before starting the pilot's course, she will be holding with the Household Cavalry Regiment, where she will have the exciting opportunity to work on the introduction and development of Ajax.
Academy Adjutant moves forward now to signify almost the end of the parade before they march off to do the final salute to the Sovereign's representative. At this stage, the parade again ready to march up the steps, certainly the senior term, whilst the intermediate and the junior term will march off the parade. In the background, you could just make out, or you could just hear the band. So they were originally situated on top of the grand entrance, and they'll be moving to make way for the senior term. Word of command, inwards turn given. You can see the junior under officers now making their way towards the rear of the officer cadets. The colours in front, ready to lead the senior division up to the steps. And then you can see on the far left-hand side the Sovereign's platoon, led by the Sovereign's banner.
A hugely emotional moment for all the senior term officer cadets, and I'm sure they would want to thank their permanent staff for all they've done. All their hard work, diligence and patience in coaching and preparing them so thoroughly for the challenges that will face them when they leave here, and for getting them ready for this momentous parade.
A fantastic shot there of the colours. Left-hand side is the King's colour, right-hand side is the regimental colour as they make their way up the grand entrance and into Old College. Just a reminder about the Sandhurst Trust that do support all the officer cadets, both British and international cadets, and provide that added extra support whenever they require it. Please feel free, those of you who have served before, not members of the Sandhurst Trust, to get online, www.sandhursttrust.org, and become a member of the alumni that reach globally, and it'll connect you into all kinds of initiatives that the Sandhurst Trust are running. And even at this stage now, you can see senior term officer cadets. These are the newly commissioned as they cross the threshold of Old College and into the grand entrance of Old College. It's not finished yet. They're still marching throughout the corridors, and the parade will not finish for them until the Academy Adjutant has rode up the steps on his charger Percy today to signify the end of the parade.
And you can see the two, in fact 4, stick orderlies leading up towards the steps. Stick orderlies are chosen by the company sergeant major, and they are seen as the best and smartest officer cadets at drill within the intake. We've got Officer Cadet Elizabeth Bywater commissioning into the Royal Electrical and Mechanical Engineers, Officer Cadet Charlotte Vinal of Somme Company 14 Platoon, and Officer Cadet Gareth Davies and Officer Cadet Ethan Treelaw.
They are followed by the prize winners, and then once the prize winners have alighted the steps, you'll see the Academy Adjutant on Percy moving forward, so you can see the infamous horse charger going up the steps to signify the end of the parade.
And in the words of the Commandant Major General Zach Stenning, we wish all of Commissioning Corps 231 the best of luck for their future careers as commissioned officers in their armies. Leaders earn their loyalty and respect based on how much they give and how they serve their people. Quoting one of our most famous alumni, Sir Winston Churchill, "We make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give." And all that remains to say is thank you for joining us, and from all the Sandhurst family, we wish Commissioning Corps 231 and yourselves all the best and a very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.